Hello, it's Amber Love. Welcome to my third video on yoga for writers, artists, and anyone who sits at a desk for too long. This incorporates deep breathing, moving the spine, and stretching tight muscles. Always check with your medical providers first. Most importantly, listen to your body. If any movement becomes painful or causes weakness or dizziness, stop immediately. For this sequence, you'll want some props: a folded blanket, a couple of blocks or equally thick books, and a strap, scarf, or necktie. This entire sequence is done on the floor. Begin seated in a comfortable, easy pose. You can use your blanket and lift your hips above your knees. Let's warm up the cervical spine with some gentle neck rolls. Tilt your chin down to your chest, roll your chin over to one shoulder, and then gently come back to center and roll it over to the other shoulder. Inhale at the shoulder, exhale back down to center. Now let's do some self-care for the cervical vertebrae. Place your fingers along each side of the cervical spine. As you tuck your chin down and slowly come up, let your fingers slide up the back of your neck until you reach the base of your skull. Exhale and enjoy that sensation. Repeat that step if it feels good to you. Roll the shoulders up and then down your back, inhaling and exhaling. When you're ready, lift one arm straight up, slide the opposite arm out, and enjoy a gentle side bend. Come all the way up, release the arm down, repeat with the other side. Inhale the arm up straight to the ceiling, and then exhale, bend over for a gentle side stretch. Your neck can be wherever it's comfortable. Your gaze can be up, straight ahead, or to the floor. Now at this point, we're going to start working on areas that will help release the sciatica nerve impingements. So I removed my blanket at this point. To show you the first pose, Baddha Konasana, or bound angle, you may wish to support your knees with props, as shown in the video. Inhale, and on your exhale, hinge at the hip. Lean forward into a nice, gentle fold. Check your spine alignment, keep it nice and long. Press the elbows into the legs. If you want to take the stretch further, remove the props from underneath your knees. Come back to a neutral spine, nice and tall. Hinge forward at the hips and forward fold. And that's where your knees might be able to press down even further. You can take the inside of your feet, since they're pressed together, and open them up like a book. It sort of gives a little extra sensation into that stretch. When you're ready, inhale, come up. Place your hands on your knees and help your knees come up. Then whatever way is easiest for you, we're going to come over to all fours for tabletop position. Make sure that your abs are engaged, your spine nice and supported. Lift the tailbone and the head up. Exhale and come back to neutral. Inhale, the tailbone and the head come up. And exhale, back to neutral. These are cow stretches, and since we're hunched over most of the time, it's really beneficial to do them. Stretch one leg straight out behind you, flex the foot, and take the leg up and down, just straight up and down. After a few of those, cross the leg over to the other side, plant the toe on the floor, and look back over your shoulder so you can see your toes. Bring the leg back to center and bring it down. Inhale, come back into cow. Exhale, back to neutral. Inhale into cow again, and exhale back to neutral. And it's time to do the other leg. Reach it straight back, flex the foot, bring the foot up and down. And and then cross over the foot to the other side, look over the shoulder, and see if you can see your toes. Bring it back to center and come back to tabletop. Now stretch the one leg out again, bring it up, and then slide the knee all the way up in between your hands if you can. If you can't, however you can get there to set up for pigeon is perfectly fine. At this point, you probably want to prop the hip of your front leg with your folded blanket, and you can prop your blocks underneath your hands. Open up with the chest, inhaling and exhaling. Your abs are completely engaged here to support your spine. If you don't need the blocks or the blanket, that's fine too. You can take it even deeper. It depends on your hip flexibility. Inhale with your chin up, and exhale, fold forward into sleeping swan. Never judge your body if you feel like the props mean you're not good at a pose, especially something like this, one leg king pigeon. It's very common to use props. When you're ready, help yourself back up through tabletop, bring the hips all the way back to the feet, and enjoy child's pose. Come back to tabletop and stretch out the opposite leg, lift it up, and then you're going to swing that knee through to your hands if you can. If not, just remember the setup. And remember, this can also be very different from side to side. Maybe you need a blanket on this side, but you didn't need it on the other. Get your props ready and engage the abs. Enjoy the gentle back bend of this one-leg king pigeon. And of course, relax your facial muscles. Maybe have a little smile here. Your neck should always be comfortable in a position like this also. So if you can't lift your chin, that's perfectly fine. When you're ready, move the props out of the way and see if you can enjoy the stretch even deeper. Or exhale and come forward directly into sleeping swan. Sleeping swan can be a very restorative position. This is something that you can enjoy for several minutes. Bring your head up, place your palms down to support yourself, and come back to tabletop position. Slide your hips back over your feet and come into child's pose. Now we're going to prepare for Janu Shirshasana. Keep one leg bent in with your foot tucked in high against your inner thigh. And your other leg will be out straight at a sort of a V angle. Have your props ready because this has a lot of variations. The first one, you're going to take your strap, wrap it around your foot of the straight leg. Now start with a bent knee and then slide the heel out. And in all of these variations, you're going to keep a soft enough knee on that straight leg that you're not hyperextending. So if you have no problem with the strap, you can try something like the blocks. And again, this all varies based on if you're experiencing any pain in your wrists so you don't feel like pulling on a strap, or if you need some other care for yourself. You would just put the blocks on either side of your leg and rest your arms against it. Remember, you're keeping your foot engaged, and abs are also engaged, pulling the belly button back to the spine, and then folding over that straight leg. So in the full presentation here, you can see that hands can reach all the way around the foot if that's something you're able to do. Using your hands, push yourself back up to a neutral position and then switch legs. And just like with the other poses, one leg to the other can vary quite greatly. So you can try it with a strap wrapped around your foot and pulling yourself down, remembering to keep that straight leg soft. Elongate the spine and just enjoy the stretch. You could try it with the blocks underneath your arms, with the blocks next to either side of your leg. Or for a more restorative version, you could place the block up against your thigh and then rest your forehead on top of it. This is a lot like the sleeping swan pose. If you don't feel comfortable being folded over on the mat, you can try something like this instead. If you want to try the full extension, you can remove your props, hinge at the hip, make sure your spine's nice and long, and of course it will naturally curve as you reach forward. You can wrap your hands around your foot. When you're ready, use your hands to help push yourself back up to neutral. Now let's revisit bound angle, the pose we did earlier. Listen to your body and notice any changes from earlier. Get your props ready. Bring your feet together and start off with the blocks propped up underneath your knees. Hold onto your ankles, put your elbows on your knees, and come forward. Maybe this time you'll notice that you don't need the blocks anymore, or that you can bend down further, pressing your knees closer to the floor. Come back up carefully, help your knees come back in, and you're going to need your strap for the next part. Gently lower yourself down to the floor with your back nice and comfortable. One leg at a time, you're going to hold behind your thigh, bringing your knee into the chest. With the other leg beginning bent, slowly drag your heel out and see if you can get your leg pretty straight, always keeping it a bit soft. Make sure that your chin is not jutting up towards the ceiling. That's a common mistake here. So keep your neck nice and neutral. Switch sides and bring the other knee to chest, and then straighten the other leg. Then bring both feet flat on the floor. You're going to take your strap and wrap it around one foot with your knee to chest, and keeping the knee bent at first, then drag the leg that's going to be on the floor. You can either keep that bent or drag the foot all the way out. And again, you can hold behind your thigh here or use the strap. Pull across the strap so that you feel the nice stretch. Switch the strap to one hand and open up the leg. You'll feel the stretch on the inside of the thigh more. Inhale and bring the foot back up to the ceiling. Switch to the other hand and cross the leg over the body this time. Inhale and bring the foot back up. Bring the knee into the chest. And when you're ready, you're going to switch the strap to the other foot, placing the one you just released back onto the floor and dragging the heel out. So now with the other knee to chest, you're going to either grab behind the thigh or using the strap, press the heel up to the ceiling, switch the strap to one hand and open the leg out. Inhale and bring the foot back up to the ceiling, switch the strap and cross the leg over. Coming back up to neutral, you can bend the knee, remove the strap. And now here, we're going to get ready for a peaceful restoration pose. You can either keep your feet flat on the floor with your knees bent, or come all the way out into corpse pose. For corpse pose, you want to have your arms at a slight angle, opening them up so that the palms are facing to the sky. And sometimes, since we're talking about issues like sciatica pain or lower back pain. It might help if you have a bolster underneath your knees. And again, keep checking on your spine alignment all the way up to your neck. You don't want your chin jutting up. When you're ready, you're going to come over to one side. Support your head in your arm and bend your knees, a nice fetal position that's comfortable. Take one hand and help yourself up, coming up to a comfortable seated pose. Recognize everything that you've accomplished today. Bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Namaste.